Hello everyone, this is D. Chiranjeevi, Assistant Professor, Department of Information Technology, Aditya University. Today I am going to discuss arrays in programming for problem solving using C. So the learning outcome of this lecture is student will be able to discuss the concept of arrays. So the outline of this lecture is I will discuss what is array and types of arrays, and then I will discuss how to declare and initialize arrays, and I will discuss how to read elements in array dynamically, and I will discuss how to display array elements. So what is array? So array is a derived data type. Array is a derived data type which stores collection of similar type of values, which stores collection of values which are similar type, okay. So all the elements of the array are of similar type, right? So now similar type, and array elements are stored in contiguous memory location. Contiguous memory locations, right? So what else you can say? So we can say array is a static entity. What does it mean, static entity? Static entity means if we declare array of size n, it means the size n cannot be increased, cannot be decreased. That means fixed size. Static entity means fixed size. Okay. Now let us declare an array. So you can declare an array by syntax. You need to specify data type and then array name, and then we need to specify size, semicolon. Okay. So example, you can write int array name ARR and size, let us say I specify 5. Now what does it mean? If you declare an array of size 5, immediately it will allocate memory for 5 elements whose index is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So the array index, these are indexes. Array index starts from 0 and up to size minus 1. So size, here I have taken 5. So the last index is size minus 1. So index start. So I am simply writing here index start at 0, and end, index end at size minus 1. Okay. So size is the total number of elements which a array stores. Size minus 1 is the last index of array. If you are taking 5 as size of array, then the last index is size minus 1, that is 4. Okay. So in this example here we have declared a array and we have initialized elements also. So for this array the elements will be stored like this: 1 is at index 0, 2 at index 1, 3 will be at index 2, 4 will be at index 3, and 5 will be at index 4. Okay. So then the other one is a, so similar manner you can declare float array. So float a of 5. What does it mean? So it means you declared an array whose name is a of size 5 elements which is of type. So it means now your array will store only float values. Now this is an integer array, so it stored only integer values, right, this one. Similarly you can declare a char array. So here we have declared a char array. So by using char data type, character array means character array, so whose size is 10, and then in double quotes you have written the value of this character array. So now is this a character array or string? Now if you look at here very carefully, the size you specified 10 and then you stored number of characters 1 2 3 4 5 6. So last character you can say null. So this is a string. This is an example of string you stored in double quotes. So that's why you can say it's a string. Okay, and the number of characters available, that is size minus 1 or less than that, if then also you can say it's a string. Okay, so this is a string, but this is a character array because here the elements are stored in single quotes. So this is character array. So you specified the size as 10, so elements are stored in single quotes. So this is a character array example. And the difference between string and character array is the character array, the last element is character only. Okay, if it is a string, the last character is null, that is /0. Okay, even though it is not there, still I am saying char s of 10 equal to double quotes Prasad is a string. The reason is, so Prasad whose length is 6, then you can store this null character, so total 7. So 7 characters you can store in this char s of 10 because maximum 10 characters you can store. So that's why I am saying string. If I am storing 10 characters exactly, then what will happen? Then it will store whatever 10 characters you will give, 9 characters, and then the last character is null. Even though you are giving 10th character, it will not take if it is a string. Okay. So the difference between the basic character array and a string is, character array, the elements are characters, the last element is also character, right? And in string, the value will be in double quote, the last character will be null character. Okay, this is the basic difference of character array and a string. Okay, so this array will store homogeneous values. It means it will store all the values of same type, and you can also call array is a linear data structure because it's storing the element sequentially, one after the other, index wise it is storing. That's why you can call this array is a linear data structure. Types of arrays. So in types of arrays, array is also known as one dimensional array, that is 1D array. Okay, so two dimensional arrays are also there. Okay, multi-dimensional arrays are also there, we will discuss. So two dimensional array means array of array is also known as two dimensional array. Okay, I will discuss multi-dimensional array when it arrives. One dimensional array. So you can see, you can define one dimensional array like this. So one dimensional array contains linear sequence of elements. Now if you look at this image, the elements are sequentially stored like index 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so in one dimensional array the elements are stored in linear sequence. Okay, so these all are the elements, 2, 4, 8, 12, 16, 18 are the elements, or you can say values in array or array elements, and this 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 are the indexes. Okay, this array of size 6, so you can declare int ARR, so capital A, ARR, AY of size. If I specify size 6, then the first index will be 0, the last index will be 5, it will store 6 elements. Okay, so you can initialize this. If you want to initialize, then you can write in the next line array of 6 equal to 2, 4, 8, 12, 16, 18. Already I have declared this array of type integer, that's why in the next line I am not using any more data type. Directly I have written array name and size, then I have directly initialized the array. So then semicolon. Okay, so this is initialization. So what I have written here, so I am writing array initialization, array initialization. This is declaration. Declaration of array. So how can we declare an array? So already I have written over there, but the syntax again I am saying. So first you need to specify data type, then you need to specify array name, then you need to specify size. Now what does it mean declaration? Declaration means only you will create an array without assigning any values. Only array will be declared, but you will not assign any values like int a of 5, float b of 10, char c of 10. What does it mean? It means if you declare an array of size 5, it will allocate memory for 5 elements immediately, like this, index 0 to index 4, array name a. Now if you write float b of 10, it will allocate memory immediately for 10 elements. So index 0 to 10. So index 0 to 9. Okay. So size is 10. So size minus 1, that is 9. Similarly for character array also same memory it will allocate index 0 to index 9 because the size is also 10. So here data type can be integer or a float or a char or double, any basic data type. Okay. Array name, you must follow identifier naming convention rules, and size is any integer value only. Okay. So size here it means number of elements the array is storing. So if size is 5, it means 5 elements will be stored in the array. If size is 10, 10 elements will be stored. Similarly, if you are specifying size as n, then n elements will be stored in the array. So this is the declaration of array. So now memory representation I have just now shown you. So when you are declaring array of size 5, so it is simply allocating memory for 5 elements. Same thing we are discussing here. So if you declare array of size 5 and initializing values, so 10, 30, 50, 40, 20, then the memory will allocate for 5 elements. So index 0 to 5, so that is this is index 0, index 1, index 2, index 3, index 4, and the first element address, that is index 0 address is 1001. So as this is array of integer type, if the first element address is 1001, the next element will be 1001 plus 4, because every integer value will occupy 4 bytes. So 1001 plus 4, 1005, that is why index 1 value is stored from 1005, and the next value occupy 4 more bytes, so that is why 1009. Similarly 1013 and 1017. Okay. So where every element is occupying 4 bytes of memory. Okay. So this array total a of 5 is occupying 20 bytes of memory. So this is the memory representation of array. And one more thing, the array name a, in this case array name a. So if any other array, if you declare that array name, by default it will store array name, by default it store first element address. Okay, this is also one point you can remember. Now how can we initialize array? Okay, initialization. What does it mean by initialization? Initialization means assigning the values to the array. Okay, so how we can initialize? Simply the same syntax what we have used for declaration, but after specifying size we need to assign the values by using assignment operator. So data type, then array name, then size. So if you use semicolon, this is declaration. Here what I have done, I have used assignment operator equal to, and then I have specified the values, then semicolon. So by using this syntax you can initialize an array, right? So now data type, again same, any type of data type, that is basic data type, int, float, char, double. So array name must follow identifier rules. So n is the number of elements we are storing, that is the size, n actually size, right? So that size is always must be integer. Okay. So if you look at here example for initialization, so a of 5 equal to 5 values. So this and then one and float array. So how elements will be stored here? So a array name A, so 0 1 2 3 4, the elements are like 1 2 3 4 5, this so. Similarly float array, so you specify 10, so 10 elements it will store like this. So index 0 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. Now you are storing the values like 1.1, so one is, it will take 1.0, then the other one is 1.5, then 2.2, so you return 2.0, 3 you return, so that is it will store 3.0, then 4, so 4.0. So rest of the memory will be wasted, this memory will be wasted. Okay, so this memory wasted means how many bytes of memory wasted? So you stored 1 2 3 4 5, so 5 elements memory is wasted. That means, so it will, so float B of 10 array will allocate 40 bytes memory, occupy 20 bytes, waste 20 bytes. In the other case integer, it create so array of 5 declared 20 bytes of memory and occupied all 20 bytes, no wastage. Okay, similarly character array or string. Okay, so this is one way by which you can initialize array. Other way also you can initialize by simply using index. So you can directly initialize an array by specifying its index, like, so I am writing a of 0, let us say I declared an array int a of 5, okay, declared, and now by using the array index I can initialize the values. A of 0 equal to I am writing 10, a of 1 equal to I am writing 15, a of 2 equal to I am writing 20, semicolon, right, semicolon, then a of 3 equal to I am writing 25, a of 4 equal to I am writing 30. Now memory will be allocated like this. So first it will store 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. So this is the other method by which you can initialize an array. Okay, second approach of initialization. The first approach by using curly bracket, this is first approach, this is, and the second approach is like this, and by using scanf also you can initialize array, that is the third approach. Now same thing I have shown earlier slide. So if you declare an array like this, then the elements are stored like this from index 0 to index size minus 1, size is 5, so up to 4. So these are the indexes and these are the values which are stored in the memory, and this is the array name. So how can we access these elements? Array name and by using its respective index. Okay, if you try to print a of 0, then it will give you the value 10. A of 3 if you give, then it will give 40. Okay, so similarly you can access any element in the array. So this is simply representation of memory of initialized array. Now how can we access? Just now I have told that by using an index, array index, you can access the elements. Not only initialization, initialization also can be performed by using array index. At the same time, you can also access array by using its respective index. So a of 0 equal to 10. So if you write in printf %d, if you write this printf, if you write %d, then a of 0, what you will get? So it will print the first array of 0 index value. So array a of 0 is, that is 10, so it will give you output 10. Similarly, any particular element you want to access, you can access it by using array index. Okay, so I have already told array index starts from 0 and it ends at size minus 1. And then I told you the third way of initializing array is by using scanf. So first you declare an array. So you declared array of 5. So that means for 5 elements memory is allocated like this. So array index 0 to 4, size minus 1. Now you are reading. Now whenever you are reading by using scanf, now because you are reading multiple elements, if you want to read one element, you can write one scanf. So for 5 element, shall we need to write 5 scanf, right? What if you want to read 500 elements? Shall we write 500 printf scanf statement? Ultimately no. So so if anything, if you are doing repeatedly, so here we are reading the elements repeatedly. So by using a loop we can perform this. So here a loop is taken. So loop is initialized to 0. That initializer I is initialized to 0. Now you are checking I less than 5. So I value 0. So 0 less than 5. Yes, true. If you are true, now control will be transferred to inside the body. Now you are reading A of I. A of I means you are reading A of 0 value, because I value currently 0. So let's say user given 10. So in this case, first value user given, let's say 10, 20, 30, 40, 55 values user has given. So first value user given 10. So because this is true, so user will give value that is 10, it will be stored. After that, I plus plus will perform. Now I plus plus means I value is 1. Now again it will check I less than 5, that means 1 less than 5. This is also true. Now it will read A of 1 value. A of 1 value, so this is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So A of 1 value, that is 20. 20 will be stored at index 1. Similarly, I plus plus, I equal to 2. 2 less than 5. This is true. Now A of 2 value you are reading, that is 30. 30 will be stored. Now I value is 3. 3 less than 5. That is true. Now A of 3 value 40 will be stored. Similarly, I value 4. 4 less than 5. That is true. Now A of 4 is 50. 50 will be stored in the memory. Now I value 5. 5 less than 5. Now false. When it is false, this condition, now control will be transferred to outside the loop. Outside the loop nothing is there. So it stop reading the values. Okay. By the time you read 5 values, whatever size you specified. Okay. This is how you can read the elements in array. Now how we can display array elements? Same. If you display one element, simply in printf you can write simply array name and index. But you need to print multiple elements. So let's say you want to print 5 elements. So we need to write 5 printf statement? Ultimately no. What in the case if you want to display 500 elements? Ultimately we will not write 500 printf statements. So because we are repeatedly printing the values, so if you are doing anything repeatedly, you can use a concept loop. So here loop is used. So for loop is used. So array initialized. So memory is like this. So here in this case 4. So indexes are 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 are the values you need to display. So index value I you got 0. Now 0 less than 5, because I less than 5 you are written. So this is true. If this is true, what you are doing? So condition is true, control will come inside the loop. Now you are printing A of I. So currently I value 0. So A of 0 you are printing. So A of 0, so array name is A. So A of 0 is 1. So in output 1 is displayed. After printing, you will perform I plus plus. So I value is 1. Now again you will check condition 1 less than 5. That is true. Now you will try to print. Again you will print A of 1. A of 1 is 2. So 2 will be printed. After that I plus plus, I value is 2. 2 less than 5. That is true. So A of 2 will be printed. So 2 is 3. Now after that I plus plus, I value is 3. Now 3 less than 5. That is true. Now A of 3 will be printed. A of 3 value is 4. 4 will be displayed. After that again I plus plus, I value is 4. 4 less than 5. That is true. Now you will print A of 4. A of 4 is 5. So 5 is displayed. After that I plus plus, I value is 5. Now we will check condition 5 less than 5. Now this time it is false. When it is false, now control will come outside the loop. Outside the loop nothing is there, so it will terminate. So by the time you have printed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is how you can display array elements. So the summary of this lecture is, I have discussed what is array, and I have discussed types of array like one-dimensional array, two-dimensional array and multi-dimensional array. I will discuss multi-dimensional array and two-dimensional array in other lectures. This is only about one-dimensional array. And then I have discussed how to declare an array and how to initialize an array. And I have discussed how to read elements in array by using scanf. And then I have discussed how to display array elements. Thank you.